Hello, welcome to Hanging with Howie. Before we start, I'd like to mention our longtime sponsor, and that is DJ Event Planner, www.djeventplanner.com. It's down below with all our other sponsors when this goes. And let's see, I'm going to go right to left this time. Buddy from Chicago, thank you. And my road dog, Boston John.
Hello. Good evening, all.
And of course, we have Matt with us.
Hello, everybody.
So here we go. Someone had asked about maybe hiring some people to dance and keep the crowd active, maybe even lead, line dances or things like that. I know some. I used to do that. My younger years. You'll see DJs get out and show the people how to do, the Cuban shuffle. So, I'll tell you what my experience has been with that. It's really big at Sweet 16s and mitzvahs, where the people really have the money, because what the DJ who's producing the show does is they actually hire people to be crowd motivators. That's what they're called, motivators. So they hire 4 or 5 of them that know the dances, and where they're able to show the attendees the dance. Mm-hmm. Have you guys ever heard of that or seen that?
I've worked with some. I did a tenure on the Spirit of Boston cruise ship, and they had entertainers that would come out and sing along with live mics to karaoke tracks. Mm-hmm. And they'd, at the start of the show, they give it to me on CDs. That's how far back we're going. They weren't flash drives yet. But not only would they have their a cappella tracks, ready to go, but during the course of the night, if the line dances came up, so there's probably 4 or 5 of them, and they were paid for by the ship, not by me. So they were going to be there for another purpose. So they repurposed these people to bring them out. We'd do Blame It on the Boogie, Michael Jackson, and there's the whole routine and stuff that goes with that. And obviously the cha-cha slide, the Casper slide, the Cupid shuffles, because it was usually a mixed crowd. There was sometimes it was younger, the dinner cruises tend to be older people, and they maybe wanted to know like the Motown 2-step. They'd get out there and they'd kind of encourage them to dance, to be a little less shy, before having a couple of drinks or whatever, if you're on a sunset cruise. So it's practical. But for us as solo ops, to carry that kind of person along with you or people, it's a price point. It's like, how much more are you going to charge to have motivators?
Right. Exactly. That's why the only place I've seen it is at mitzvahs, actually, and Sweet 16s. And actually, the last Sweet 16 I did, they brought their own motivators. They brought the cheerleaders for the high school football and basketball. And they were up there doing their routines, and it was pretty neat. It made for some really good footage, and it encouraged everybody else to go out then too.
Just to wrap that up, when you're just one quickie, just with playing a party and you don't have the motivators, we're putting the puzzle together all night. Like, is Aunt Mildred, who likes disco, going to dance with Cousin Bob, who likes modern music? So we're trying to piece the groups together and make them be their own motivators, because you can usually tell who the party starter is at each table if you go around and walk the tables. So you kind of play to those, and you kind of get them from within without having them be on staff, if you know what I mean.
That's a good point, John.
Yeah. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, I've seen it done. I've seen it done a couple of different ways. I've seen one where it was more blatant, and this was a party for like young kids, like a birthday party. I think maybe it was like they just turned 7. It was like 2 twins. Well, not that there's more than 2 twins, but anyway. So with that, so these twins turned 7, and then they hired their parents hired an instructor to come in from one of the local dance studios. I want to say maybe the kids might have been enrolled even. So anyway, so she walked them through some basics. I played some music. I took advantage of, I believe what our industry is mostly referring to now as EQ stems. I'm a algorithm DJ user, so me, it was just turning down the vocal side on what you call it, neural mix, their fancy word for stems, and just kind of let her kind of instruct while there's some good background beats going, and she taught them a few, basic dances, not necessarily just the cha-cha slide, just stuff you could do to any song, as long as the beat fit. Mm-hmm. So I've seen it like that. I've also seen a DJ who's brought a couple of ladies with him who I think, they were also just his assistants too. But during the party, they needed something to do. I mean, they're just hanging out. So I think it was kind of a natural progression into having these quote unquote motivators. And I didn't even think about it in my own career so far as having done something similar, but I did a gig recently for it was on Cinco de Mayo, and it was at this Mexican restaurant sort of thing downtown. They were open to having some dancing and all that kind of stuff. And I was kind of up in this loft area DJing, so I really had, other than when I took breaks to go down there, I had no way of really talking to the crowd. They didn't have a way of talking to me. So I put QR codes on the tables, and they could send the songs and I would get them. But also with that, a friend was walking around, and it was funny. She actually had my tip jar with her, and I did not ask for that, but she had my tip jar with her, but she was also going around and making sure people were making requests and stuff. And she was kind of the boots on the ground then, and just really getting to know them and kind of, get them motivated to want to sing and dance along and all of that. So I guess I did it without even realizing I did it. So, so I think there are mediums of that. You kind of have somebody walk around, do that sort of role, just kind of taking care of people, kind of like when the manager would stop by at your table at a restaurant when you're out to eat. That one person just goes, hey, yeah, can I get you anything else? How you liking the music? And then the people that just really blended in with the crowd, and then the people that were there actually leading them in dance instruction.
So. How about you, buddy? Have you done that or seen that?
Yeah, I never used paid performers at a wedding or anyone to come in and get the crowd going. I've seen wedding shows where there's people who come out and do kind of teach people how to dance, like wobble or cha-cha slide. Because I can tell you how many times you see people doing it and they're doing it wrong, or doing a Macarena, or like touching their head and they're swaying their hips or doing something weird with it or doing whatever. But I think it would be a positive thing sometimes in certain measures and in certain events. I know bar mitzvahs, usually you have, a lot of boys, and they're kind of like, shy. They don't they need girls to dance with most of the time. So, having some girls come in, professional young ladies who can dance and who can have fun with it, and make sure the kids enjoy themselves. I can see that very easily. Weddings, again, it's additional costs and stuff like that. And that would be another thing, is that, how do you get past that hurdle? Because unless you know somebody who likes to dance a lot and wants to do it for free, it's hard to ask, hey, this Friday, come to this wedding and dance, get the people going. But I think it would be a cool add-on to have it in your toolbox to add in there if you feel you need it. Hey, you know what? You have a big dancing crowd. This is something talking to clients too when you're talking to them. No, we're not really big dancers. What do you think about someone coming and teaching some dance moves and stuff like? Oh, that would be really cool. You may want to reach out to one of the dance schools, something like that. See one of the instructors that likes to dance, see if they're available, and pay them a few bucks and have them come do it. But again, you need to charge back the customer for that, assistance. Right. It's like, you don't want to do stuff for free. You may want to try one and see what works. But if it does work for you really well, I definitely would say, hey, keep it in the toolbox and see how it works.
Yeah.
I've actually.
Sorry, Howie.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to add on, to Buddy there about maybe, kind of keeping that arsenal. But, and when one place I would think you would know when to offer it would be like when you're talking to a lead and it's one of these potential clients who is very adamant, like, look, we really want that dance floor hopping all night sort of thing. And, you're already, well, I mean, if you still decide to take a because like they're going to base the whole night on how the dance floor looks 100% of the time. But yeah, I mean, that might be the time to come out with that. Like, yeah, I have someone I can bring along with me and, really kind of help motivate your guests. So, all right.
Yeah.
Mr. Darkstar.
It depends on their budget, really. Some people will ask for it, you're right. Young boys, they're shy. They're afraid to even say hello to a girl. So, I get that. I was actually on the opposite side of that, and this goes back maybe 25 years ago or so, and it was Monday nights dance lessons for country line dancing and stuff. And they would learn all the different moves for country line dancing. And this lady hired me and just, so I gave her a headset with a microphone on it that was wireless. And she said, how much, would I charge? I said, well, what are you charging, to get in? She goes, well, it's $10 a head. And I said, how long is the class? And she said, it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours. They get tuckered out pretty quick, because it's, it was mostly all women. I think I was the only guy many times. And I would play these songs and she give me the hold on, back it up, and let's try this move again, and so forth and so on. And for back then on a Monday night, $300, that was $300 I didn't have, so it worked out really good. But I could see, I could see that coming back. I know that there are, at least around my area, there's like these country clubs, country music centric clubs where they'll start early, 7:00. They actually have professional, two of them there, male and female dancers that'll teach you the steps. And then the rest of the night, you're on your own type of thing, and they do really well,
At least to help you to recognize that beat. Oh, this is a boot scooter. This is a two-step twirl. Right. Mostly for the country dancers, they got to dance every beat there is.
I think that what was the name of that? The Giddy Up. It was the last one I've heard.
Blanco Brown.
Blanco Brown. Yeah.
That one has a lot of steps too.
But he tells you, he kind of tells you what to do, but you have to pay attention to it. And having someone like that professional, like what you had, Howie, that professional person who knows the dance moves to teach them, and they hear it, and okay, I do this. I can teach people. It's pretty rapid, but we can go back over a few times. So by the time you actually hear it in a club or a wedding or at whatever, you look like you're, Fred Astaire, basically.
Actually, I was really surprised because towards the end, there was actually men coming and husbands and boyfriends and stuff, and they held it at the Catholic gymnasium right on Main Street, and it was pretty cool to see, like, on a Monday night to get like 200 or 300 people, in the gymnasium, which was perfect for the people that don't know anything and they're making mistakes, they're not running into other people. So, that was the silver lining in that story. So, all right, guys, I want to thank you so much. Do you have anything else anybody wants to get off their chest before we put a fork in it?
No, I just think, like you say, the weddings, it's a little harder, but if it's schools, obviously, I did a school and the couple of the girls came up and had asked for Macarena specifically. And obviously it was a song that was probably 10, 12 years before they were even born. I says, "Oh, you know that one, do you?" And they're like, "Yes, we've been practicing it." I'm like, "Who has?" "Me and all my friends." I said, "Bring me all your friends. Bring them all right here, and then I'll start it." So then they're all right up. I backed them up. I said, "Face me. We're starting going in this direction. Drop the needle." And then you got a floor to start, and everyone else will kind of fall in. So use the crowd to your advantage if somebody knows a step or two like that. So.
And I've done that. Take a person like Lost Ketchup, the ketchup song, the dances and the moves and stuff. Hey. Yeah, and have people who know it. I kind of times I will sometimes stop a song and be like, "Okay, hey, you know what to do. Come up here, teach everyone else, turn to the crowd,
get in front of everybody.
What's going on? How to do this? Do Macho Man, whatever it is." Yeah. You see someone out there really doing it, and you just tell their personality. It's like, "Look at me, I know what I'm doing. Plus, I'll teach everyone." Bring them in front of you. It's kind of one of those things. Kind of put a spotlight on them a little bit, but it's fun having the crowd be a little interactive with the crowd a little bit and doing that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And they feel special because, hey,
I got called up at a DJ.
And it's like they've been knighted all of a sudden.
I'm a star.
All right, folks. Hey, we're going to put a fork in this one. We'll be back next week. So, as usual, down below when this gets published to YouTube, leave your comments and suggestions for topics you'd like us to cover if you have any questions. And with that, we're going to say